morning. Let me now today take you along to a beautiful new journey, because life is a journey. Imagine that we are all going for a holidays, and this time by a beautiful new train which has been introduced. We are there on the railway platform, and the empty trains enters the platform. And look at the train carefully. Do you find the two entities? One is a power machine which is there in the front, and rest of them are all similar looking, same commodities. What do you call the first one? Engine, right? Yeah, on one hand you have the engine, the rest of them are all compartments. Guess what I'm talking about? I'm talking about life, because life is a journey. And that's why I compared life with a journey machine called train. The two entities define everything about life. There are only two kinds of people in this world. Yes, only two kinds. The engine kind and the compartment kinds. Wherever it is. You go to United States, you find them. You come to India, you find them. Every lane, in every city, in every village, everywhere in the world, you will find only two kinds of people primarily, basically. There is no third kind. The engine kind and the compartment kinds. Let me first talk about the compartments. Who are they? Just go over to the compartments and you ask them, hey compartments, why are you going? What answer will they give? Because of the engine? Or perhaps they will say, we can't help it. They're being pulled by the engine, so they go. Likewise in this world, more number of people are just existing for only one reason. I've often asked them in my seminars, hey, why are you living? You know what the guy replies? What else can I do? It's not like, isn't it just like the compartments? Why are you going? I can't help it. Why are you living? What else can I do? Then I tell him, why? You don't have a purpose in life? And he said, purpose? Yeah, I have one purpose. I said, tell me quickly, what is that purpose? You know what he says? Breathing. I'm living because I'm breathing. Funny, isn't it? But that's true. Most of the people are not living in this world. They're just breathing. And let me tell you one thing. It's not breathing that makes people live in this world. There is a wonderful poet in Urdu who's loved beautifully. He said, Zindagi zinda dili ka naam hai, murda dil kya khak jiya karte hain. What does it mean? It means people who are enthusiastic in their mind are truly living, not because they are breathing. It's not our body that makes us alive. Do we have a spirit? And the moment you add the spirit, you get into the other side. Very small number of people in the world, because of whom the world is moving. They're the engine kind. They have the energy within. And you know what's the most beautiful thing? They produce the energy not for themselves. They retain a very small part of that energy for themselves and pass on the whole energy to those compartments and make them move. That's why people go destinations. That's why things happen in the world. So how about thinking of a transformation from the compartment to the engine? In the context of the human train, we don't call them engine and compartments. We have another name. You know what I say? The compartments, I call them small c's. They are the consumers. Have you heard this sound? Me alone. A few of them have shared better. They said, no, not me alone. Me, my wife, my child. This world is for us. They are the real consumers. This world's juices, beauty, energy, everything they suck in for themselves. They don't know anyone else except themselves. What's there in it for me? What there's in it for me is the message. They are the compartments and they are the consumers. And how about that engine? Engine in the context of the human train are the capital C's. The small c is a consumer and the capital C is contributor. They create the energy and contribute the energy. They are the people who have made things happen in this world. Those people are called the history makers. The rest of them are all history readers. Someone asked me, Ashit, why the history makers are rich and history readers are poor? And I told them, history makers create the history. History readers buy their book and read them. That's why the history maker is rich. Would you want to transform your life? I use this beautiful word, transformation. Focus on this. I went to the dictionary and I found the transformation has got 3 parts. Transformation. And 3 parts of this word has got 3 different meanings. Trans means going beyond. You know, we are on trance. We are going beyond into another beautiful world. Form. You stand in front of the mirror or you stand on a weighing machine, you get your mass or a volume, that's your form. Ation, taking an action. Put them together. You get the meaning of this beautiful word, transformation. Transformation means transformation, the action you take to go beyond your form. So what action are you going to take to go beyond your form? From small c to capital C. 3 things. There are 3 areas in your personality where you got to attend. It's a very old thing, but needs an emphasis again and again in our life. First thing stands with A. A stands for attitude. I always love saying that. When people call me, Ashit, you are a great tutor, I point out, sorry, I'm not a tutor, I'm an attituder, because I basically work on attitudes. And that's the prime feature, prime focus of our life. Last time I told you a story about attitude. This time let me share another beautiful story I remember right now. This story is about that Bata company salesperson. Long time ago, Bata company used to sell their products only to salespeople. And this guy came and joined Bata company a little later. So where all the territories were allocated. Now this guy was sent to an African island, a barren, isolated island, to sell shoes. And he sailed in the ship for long 3 months. And then the ship anchored. And as he comes out of the ship and goes into that isolated African land to sell shoes, he was shocked. He says, my God, not a single person wears shoes here. How can I sell shoes? And he got surprised looking at them. And he said, my God, I cannot sell shoes here. He goes back to the captain and says, Captain, don't go away. I got a return ticket. I'm going to go back because I can't sell shoes here. Nobody can sell shoes here. Look, nobody has got a shoe here. There is no shoe market here. There is no shoe consumer here. And it takes time. He goes to the telegraph office and sends a telegram to the company. Coming back by the same ship, nobody wears shoes here. Then after 3 months when he reaches his headquarters, he sees the chairman of the company, Bata company, and all his people have come to receive him for doing this wonderful job. They bought a very big piece of garland, not made of flowers, but of shoes. The guy lost his job. There was another guy waiting. Said, sir, I will go. Hey, you know you're going to sell shoes. This guy got married. He got a pretty wife and he promised her all the happiness. And Bata company job was a very prestigious job and a lot of money if you sell shoes. The company said, come on, the ship is ready, board the ship. And he boarded the ship and started sailing to the same island, the same ship. And the next morning when he goes and checks off his ticket in the middle of the sea, he sees this time the company was clever. It gave a one-way ticket and it was written there somewhere with his appointment later that if you sell shoes, we'll send you the return ticket. The fellow was shocked, said, my God, I got to do something. 3 months later, when the same ship anchored in the same island, this guy also came out. And when he met the people in the African island, he was shocked for a while. Yet quickly, he had a very peculiar thought in his head. On one side was his pretty beautiful wife, to whom he needed to go back. On the other side, if he couldn't sell shoes, he could see his future in this barren island. Something happened right there and then. He jumped out in excitement. And the ship leaves and he goes to the telegraph office. He also gets a telegraph form and he writes a different message. Very, very important. You know what he wrote? Send me all the shoes you have in your godown, because here not a single person has a shoe. What happened to the first one? Did he say there is not a single person has a shoe? The second person also said there is not a single person has a shoe. The first person lost the job and second person said, my God, here only Bata. I don't have any competition. I'll give the shoes, few of the samples I got for these people. First time they will enjoy the luxury and the comfort of having a shoe. They'll save their feet from the stern insects and the snakes. And the second man made his fortune. He got all the stocks imported, he sold shoes and he made money, and the first one lost his job. Was the ship different? Was the territory different? Was the market different? Was the product different? Was the buyer different? No. Was the man different? Yeah. What part of the man was different? The first man never had a positive attitude, but the second man had. And this amplifies enough about how important is attitude, and that the first thing about being a contributor, transforming your life from the small c to capital C, is about developing a positive attitude. But attitude is not enough. You need skills as well. And there comes your education. There comes your academics to some extent, but not only academic education. Academic education can give you functional skills. Professional education can give you functional skills. You can become an engineer, doctor, or a lawyer, or a management specialist. But there are other skills. We call them attitudinal skills, like decision making, like time management, like self-esteem, like developing creativity, effective communication, setting goals in life. All these are attitudinal skills. No school, no college, no technical universities has a syllabus on them. But aren't they the most important thing in your life? Think. Researchers have proved 90% people don't become successful because they lack the people skills. You put all the attitudinal skill together, they're called people skills. All the things get depreciated in this world. Only people get appreciated. Learn how to do people skills. So you expand your horizon. So in the context of skill, I'm talking about two skills. Functional skills, which come from education, technical education, professional education, functional education, and alongside you need to do something about developing your attitudinal skills. What are the things you must do? Attitudinal training courses, coaching, neuro-linguistic programming. There are various things that we do in order to develop your attitudinal skill lackings. Finally, the third thing is knowledge. It is theoretical knowledge, because that's also very important. If you are not strong about your theories and you are only having a practical education, then you become a road mechanic. And the road mechanic is not a professional. The automobile engineer, of course, is. So he has both the theoretical and the practical knowledge, and that put together, he becomes a total professional. So knowledge is very important. So what happens when you add these three? A stands for attitude, S stands for skill, K stands for knowledge. Ask yourself how you can transform your life. You ask me that, and I've given you an answer. Attitude, skill, and knowledge. When you develop all these three faculties, the triangles expand. And when your attitude expands, your skill expands, and your knowledge expands, you become successful. So ladies and gentlemen, In this wonderful session, I wanted to share all my experiences in professional training that we do. Primarily, we work on attitudinal training. We don't handle academics that your school, college, your professors and teachers handle, but we are attituders. So we help you develop positive attitude. We help you develop attitudinal skills, and we'll compensate the gap which remains after your theoretical education. We give practical exposures, not only education. We need exposures. We need direct interaction with the world, direct interaction with the people of the world. Because the greatest teacher is life. I always say that. Life is the greatest teacher. So unless we expose ourselves to those challenges, to those predicaments, to those adversities in our life, we don't become strong. In order to become strong, we got to face them. They're all teachers. Take them positively from tomorrow. And never say, I got a problem. Change it. I'll have another session one day when I'll talk about how to transform problems into projects. When we say problems, you feel handicapped, impoverished. You say, oh, help me, I got a problem. But the moment you change that word and say, hey, I got a project. Whose project is it? It's yours. Who is going to handle it? It's you who is going to handle it. The whole scenario changes. You take the control on yourself, and that's how life teaches you to be strong. So, attitude, skill and knowledge will empower you completely, comprehensively in order for you to be successful. Did I tell you? Being successful is the most important thing in life. We are not being educated only to get good marks in the examination. We are being educated in order to do something in this world. And that's how we shall be able to deliver. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me wrap up once again. Small c to capital C, my today's topic, from consumers to contributors. Contributing in the lives of others, just like an engine, not as a compartment. Contribute in the lives of others. Because of you being present there, life is a beautiful place. As someone beautifully said, people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. One great teacher told me the definition of success is, how many smiles are you able to create in this world? And my mentor told me a beautiful definition of success, which is my concluding remark today. And that is, success is your personal achievement recognized by people. So add up the people skills. Become a contributor is my message. See you next time. Have a wonderful day.